The forgotten era, long before the Galactic Council, before peace treaties and trade routes, there was fear, cold, endless fear. For centuries, the galaxy cowered beneath the Drayth Dominion, a race of conquerors who saw every species as prey. Worlds were burned, colonies erased, and rebellion meant extinction. But there was one sector the Drayth avoided. They called it the Silent Reach. The stars there were cold, uninhabited, and ringed with ancient debris fields. Sensors picked up strange radiation, ghost signals, and the faint pulse of energy signatures that refused to die. The Dominion didn't know it then. That was where humanity slept. The Cryo tombs. The discovery came by accident. A Drayth scavenger fleet found what looked like a derelict station orbiting a dying sun. Inside, they uncovered massive chambers, rows upon rows of sealed pods. At first, they thought it was a graveyard, until one of the pods opened. A human stepped out, unarmed, barefoot, eyes adjusting to light for the first time in millennia. The Drayth commander barked an order, weapons raised. Then the human moved. In seconds, 12 heavily armed soldiers lay unconscious, none dead. The human looked around the room, sighed, and whispered the first words recorded by the Dominion's translators. So, it happened again. The awakening. Within hours, more pods began to open. Hundreds, then thousands. Each human emerged disoriented but eerily calm, as if they'd expected to wake up to war. Their leader identified herself as Captain Maracade, Terran Defense Corps, Cryo Division. Report, she said to no one in particular. How long were we under? The Dominion soldiers didn't know how to answer. They tried to fire. They didn't get the chance. The first contact, again. News of the humans' awakening spread across the Dominion like wildfire. At first, they thought it was an isolated incident, a lost species rediscovering itself. Then the Terran signals began transmitting across the galactic network. Calm, precise, terrifyingly professional. This is Earth Command, Cryo Fleet Theta. You have violated containment zones established before your recorded history. Cease all hostilities and withdraw. The Dominion laughed. A primitive species issuing orders. They sent 50 cruisers to demonstrate dominance. None returned. The return of the Deathworlders. Every recorded engagement followed the same pattern. Human ships appeared from nowhere, silent and efficient. They didn't jam communications or issue demands. They simply neutralized threats, disabling engines, disarming weapons, and vanishing again. Entire fleets were dismantled with surgical precision. One Drayth admiral famously shouted during a live transmission, "What are you?" The human commander replied, "We're what you made us." Then cut the feed. The Council's shock. When the surviving Dominion leaders finally contacted the Galactic Council, they begged for protection. The Council's historians reviewed the ancient records and froze, because buried deep in pre-Council archives was a name they dismissed as myth. Humanity, the Deathworlders, a species that had once expanded too far, too fast, and chosen cryogenic sleep rather than extinction during the Great Collapse. They had promised to sleep until the galaxy was ready. No one expected them to wake angry. The reckoning. Within weeks, humanity's presence reshaped everything. Their fleets didn't conquer, they stabilized. They shut down slave markets, dismantled orbital fortresses, and broadcast one message on every frequency. You have forgotten what peace costs. We remember. And yet, they never retaliated with cruelty. Even against the Drayth, they showed restraint, disarming, rebuilding, teaching. The galaxy couldn't decide whether to fear or worship them. The memory of fire. Captain Maracade gave her first public statement to the Council 6 months later. Standing before thousands of delegates, she said, "We went to sleep to give the galaxy time to heal. We hoped you'd build something better. Instead, We woke up to find the same monsters, just new faces wearing old crowns. We're not here to rule you. We're here to remind you of who you could be. No applause followed, only silence, because every being in that chamber understood. The apex predators of a death world had returned, not as conquerors, but as teachers. The last broadcast of the Dominion. The Draith Dominion ceased to exist within a year, not through annihilation, but through surrender. Their final broadcast before disbanding read, "The humans didn't destroy us. They showed us what we had become. That was worse." The Quiet Era. Centuries later, humanity once again withdrew, not into Cryo Sleep, but into observation. They left behind stations, alliances, and a simple inscription carved into the central spire of the Galactic Council. Do not mistake silence for absence. The legend lives. To this day, stories circulate of Terran ships appearing in distress zones, vanishing before identification, of human envoys who walk unarmed through war zones, and every soldier who sees them lowers their weapon, because everyone knows what happened the last time someone woke the humans. And no one wants to test if they're still angry.